Hi friends, good evening. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy, Director Shankaranaya Study Circle. Today in this video, we will discuss yet one more topic useful for APPSC Group 1 Mains exam, that is National Intellectual Property Rights Policy 2016. Remember, India till 2016 didn't have a separate policy. India till recently didn't have any intellectual property rights policy as such, but that doesn't mean that we do not have any framework to deal with the intellectual property rights regime. So there were a number of laws which were enacted by the Indian Parliament from time to time to lay down a structure for operation of intellectual property rights. So in all the modern knowledge economies, creativity and innovation, they play a key role in the economic growth and the economic development of any country. And in India, the existing IPR regime in the form of legislations enacted by the Indian Parliament, they are very robust, equitable and dynamic. And apart from this, they are also compliant, which means they are in conformity with TRIPS, Trade Related Intellectual Property Rights Agreement. In addition to this, if the government of India, by coming up with an all-encompassing IPR policy, what are the advantages? So it will promote an ecosystem which is very conducive to catalyze the full utilization of the potential of intellectual property for India's economic growth and socio-cultural development, simultaneously balancing the public interest. And if you see the National IPR Policy of 2016, the vision statement of National IPR Policy 2016, it states that the policy aims at promoting advancement in science and technology, arts and culture, traditional knowledge and biodiversity resources. So this is the vision of the IPR policy of 2016, promoting advancement in science and technology, arts and culture, traditional knowledge and biodiversity resources. And if you see the mission statement to what the IPR policy wants to achieve in course of time, there were two missions which were laid down under the National IPR policy. One is fostering, encouraging, promoting creativity and innovation. And through this creativity and innovation, we will be able to promote entrepreneurship and also enhance or increase socio-economic and cultural development. And apart from this, a focus is also laid on enhancing access to healthcare, food security and environmental protection by the National IPR Policy of 2016. So the National IPR Policy, National Intellectual Property Rights Policy of 2016 has laid down 7 objectives which are to be achieved in course of time. The first objective is IPR awareness, which means to create and to increase public awareness about the economic, social and cultural benefits of intellectual property rights. So by encouraging and promoting intellectual property rights, what are the benefits which the citizenry of this country will get in terms of economy, society and culture will be communicated to the public by taking up awareness programs. As everybody speaks, the 21st century belongs to the knowledge era and it is driven by the knowledge economies across the globe. So, to achieve the first objective of promoting awareness, the IPR policy makes a mention of taking up of a nationwide program of promotion to improve the awareness about the benefits of IPR. In addition to this, creativity and innovation are to be encouraged in the public and private sectors, research and development centers, industry and academia, leading to the generation of that is producing protectable IP that can be commercialized. So in the first place we have to create intellectual property rights, and then that has to be commercialized to create wealth in this country. So that's why the slogan of national IPR policy is Creative India, Innovative India. And the second objective is generation of intellectual property rights. The first objective is to create awareness relating to intellectual property rights. The second objective, generating the intellectual property rights. India, remember, India has a huge advantage of reaping or taking advantage of demographic dividend. So India has a large talent pool of scientific and technological talent. So there is a very important need to take advantage of this fertile knowledge resource to stimulate the creation of intellectual property assets. So in this endeavor, even the corporate sector also needs to be encouraged to generate and utilize intellectual property rights. Steps are also needed to be taken to devise mechanisms so that the benefits of IPR regime reach all inventors, especially MSMEs, startups and grassroots innovators. So the innovation which happens in India, the creativity which happens in India must ensure that the benefits reach to all the stakeholders in the Indian society, thereby promoting and achieving inclusive growth. That's about the second objective. And the third objective is putting in place a strong and a robust legislative framework. So for balancing the rights of those who are responsible for creativity and innovation, simultaneously achieving the larger public interest. So if you take the existing laws in India, they are fully compliant with the TRIPS agreement. In addition to this, the various decisions made by the Indian judiciary, they have also created a strong framework for protection and promotion of IPRs in India. And in addition to this, what we need to remember is India has very rich traditional medicinal knowledge, and this exists in diverse forms in this country. And it is very important to protect it from misappropriation, especially by the Western countries. And the fourth objective, administration and management. See, the existing offices related to intellectual property rights, they have to achieve the twin challenges of making their operations more efficient. They have to ensure that they become more efficient and cost effective by taking the increased workload, and simultaneously they must also add value to the services to the community. And in addition to this, the administration of the Copyrights Act 1957 and the Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act 2000, it is being brought under the aegis of Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So here the students have to be careful that the two important legislations, Copyrights Act 1957 and the Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Design Act 2000, they are being brought under the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This was a big change which we must keep in mind. And then the fifth most important objective is commercialization of IPR. It is not enough in India to make innovations and to make creative objects. These need to be commercialized for generating wealth and prosperity. That's why it was said the value and economic reward for the owners of IP rights comes only from their commercialization. So any innovation, for it to create wealth for the innovator and also to benefit the larger public interest, it must be taken up for commercialization. So for that reason, entrepreneurship should be encouraged so that the financial value of IPR is captured. And similarly, for this to happen, it is necessary to connect investors and IP creators. That's the fifth important objective. And the sixth important objective is enforcement and adjudication. See, there is a need to build respect for IPR among the general public. In addition to this, In addition to this, the law enforcement agencies at various levels, including the state police forces, they need massive training and capacity building. And that's why it would be desirable also to adjudicate the IPR disputes through specialized commercial courts or alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. So, to quickly resolve the disputes relating to IPRs, instead of the routine way of referring the matter to the ordinary courts, the policy makes a mention of adjudicating the IPR disputes through specialized commercial courts, or the other way around, alternative dispute resolution mechanisms can also be tried. And the seventh most important objective is human resource development. See in India, which is having very young population and the advantage of demographic dividend, in order to harness the full potential of IPRs for economic growth, it is essential to develop an increasing pool of IPR professionals and experts. More and more people in the young age, they need to be adequately trained, properly educated, so that they become a tool for realizing the potential of IPRs for larger economic growth in this country. So such a reservoir of experts will facilitate the increasing generation of IP assets in the country and also utilizing these IP assets for developmental purposes. And when it comes to the implementation of the national IPR policy, the policy states that the national IPR policy will be integrated as a strategic tool in the national developmental plans. And in addition to this, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade shall be the nodal agency to coordinate, guide, and oversee implementation and future development of IPRs in India. So, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade shall be the nodal agency for ensuring coordination and also oversee the overall implementation. But the responsibility for actual implementation of the plans of action will remain with the ministries or departments concerned in their assigned sphere of work. It was also said that the policy wants to include the private sector institutions and also the state governments in the implementation process. So that's it about the National IPR Policy 2016. Thank you.